Hi, and welcome to the Business of Being a Virtual Assistant. I'm your host, Tiffany Parson, and you're watching and listening to episode number 296. Today, I want to talk to you about what I would do if I was starting over in 2025. I was just jotting down some notes before I pressed the record button and realized as a virtual service provider, we're always having to reinvent ourselves. We're always having to start over in a sense if you're wanting to change gears with your services or offer them to a new industry. Even though we're not starting from scratch, we start over more frequently than you would in a corporate position per se. Now, I want you to know no one has to start from scratch. Start with what you're already doing in your corporate job, even if you hate it. Yes, I said that. Start with what you're doing in your corporate job, even if you hate it. Why do I say that? Most likely, the reason you hate your job has to do with the company, has to do with management, has to do with policy, structure, systems. But if you're in charge of all of that, you're going to create it exactly how you like it. So if I was starting all over in 2025, I would pull from what I have done from a professional standpoint and see who needs it online. You may be thinking, well, Tiffany, I'm a bank teller. How does that translate to the internet? If I want to start and be a virtual assistant in 2025, how does that translate being a bank teller to being a virtual assistant? To be a bank teller, you have to be detail oriented. You have to be attentive. You have to be focused. You have to be into numbers. There's a lot of counting involved. You have to reconcile your bank till at the end of the day. So that requires a lot. The fact that you're a bank teller means that you're good with numbers. You have to be in order to get through the teller training and being quick on your feet. And I'm drawing from, I was a bank teller in college for like a summer. And back then, more people were coming into the bank. I don't know what it looks like in 2025 because the times I've gone in the bank, it's not a lot of people in the bank anymore. It may be more involved with the computer, which means, hey, that same thing, bring it online. If you're great with numbers, maybe that looks like you could get into bookkeeping. Maybe that looks like you could help people and share information as it relates to banking itself, things that the average person doesn't know. You would be starting with what you know already. What does that look like as a service, though, Tiffany, to someone? Well, coaches need bookkeeping. A lot of coaches are not into their numbers. They're into coaching, but they're not into behind the scenes regarding numbers, the details. It may also mean that you're great in customer service, email support. That's what customer service is, email support online. It is community support. It's client care, paying attention to details, being able to answer questions. If the bank hired you to look into people's bank accounts, you pass some type of background check, you're trustworthy in that sense. Where will you go to find the people for this service in 2025? I'm going to decide who is it that I want to work with. What type of people do I want to work with? If I want to work with coaches, what kind of coaches? You got to be specific. Business coaches, wellness coaches, fitness coaches, life coaches, dating coaches. They're all kind of coaches. What kind of coaches? And if you're not sure, Upwork is the place to go to see exactly what people are looking for. You can see exactly what kind of things they're needing. This will give you an idea of how you can apply what you're doing professionally to the online world. Does what I'm doing translate? I can't think of any job, especially if you're sitting in front of a computer. I was thinking monitor and saying computer all at the same time. Especially if you're sitting in front of a computer. Hello, you're online. Even though you're in an office and sitting in a cube with other people, you're online. That's going to translate online. See what people are looking for. That's the place to start. Before you get into, I want to do social media. I want to do Pinterest. I want start with what you know how to do already. That's going to get the ball rolling because you're confident in that already. You might not be confident in telling someone online about it, but you're confident you do it every single day. You might say, well, Tiffany, but it's specific to this company. It translates the same. Think about the core skills needed for that job. Are you using spreadsheets? Are you crafting emails? Are you writing documents? Look at the core skills, not the specifics that are especially for that particular organization. What are you doing in your job every day? Make a note. While you're at the job that you don't like, make a note of everything that you do every day. I'm in Outlook. I'm in a spreadsheet. I'm in a Word document. Because right now, just listening to me, it may not be so obvious all the different things that you do and know how to do. And you're going to realize, oh, wait, I know how to do a lot of things. So then you go where people are looking for those who can do a lot of things. Clearly, if you're already an executive assistant, that translates easily over to the online world. If you're an administrative assistant, that translates. If you do graphics, programming, those translate. I've already mentioned bookkeeping. If you are a writer, so many things. In 2025, it's important that you're seen. And I don't necessarily mean your face, but I mean that people know you exist and know that you know how to do a thing. And I know that's easier said than done because a lot of times we are our biggest critic in regards to how we sound, how we look. Is this right? Is that right? However, in 2025, we have to jump over that. Because in 2025, not only are we competing with other people who are out there already, now we got to deal with AI. Have y'all seen the videos with the AI talking and looking like a person? Eventually, the influencers are going to be bots and we're not going to be able to tell. So as much as we want to hide, we can't hide our voice. You don't necessarily have to be front facing the camera like I am. You could do B-roll type things. And in the next episode, we will talk about how to get over ourselves, get over the fact that we may not like how we are looking on a particular day. We don't like how we sound. Things that are completely out of our control. How you sound is out of your control. How God made you, what you look like is out of your control. You can fix your hair. It's the only thing that's in your control. But even on some days, you may feel like, I'm not even in control of my hair. I get it. Bobby pins are great. Bobby pins are your friend. Anyway, we'll talk about that in the next episode. How do we get over ourselves? It's well overdue. We can't get around it. We can't stay in the shadows. It's time we come out. So we're going to talk about that in the next episode. Come on back next week. Thank you so much for watching and listening. You have a wonderful and fantastic day.